Welcome to lesson 16 of Investigating Science Module 1 and 2. And in this video, we're going to be focusing on the inquiry question, how can hypotheses and assumptions be tested? And the first thing I want you to do is our do now. So I want you to use the image as a guide and list some common scientific myths and assumptions that you can think of. So pause the video now to do that. Okay, so in terms of this lesson today, we're going to be looking at gathering some secondary source data, so using some research to describe historical instances where long-standing assumptions have been updated by scientific investigation. So we're going to be looking at spontaneous generation, radioactivity, phlogiston theory, and human influences on atmospheric pollution. So, our learning intention is to gather our secondary information and then look at how they've been updated. These assumptions have been updated by scientific investigation. And we're going to be looking at collaboratively researching this information to make sure that we're sharing the workload and sharing the knowledge that everyone has in the class, and then collating all these historical assumptions into one document that we can all use. So, assumptions. So, that's accepting something is true without question or proof. And as a scientist, we must always be willing to examine assumptions and seek alternative explanations by carefully using the scientific method and reviewing research. So, the investigation that we're going to complete today is a collaborative class investigation, and we're going to examine the long standing false assumptions in the scientific field and the investigations that looked at changing those and making them into scientific discoveries through using secondary sources. And there's four fields we need to investigate. So there's spontaneous generation and the investigations that led to the proposal of the germ theory, Dalton's propositions that atoms are indivisible and unchangeable, and therefore the discovery of radioactivity. And this includes the work of Henry Becquerel and Marie Curie, the phlogiston theory and Lavoisier, and human influences on atmospheric pollution. So, the method we're going to undertake is to analyze available data for each of the overturned assumptions. And to complete that, we're going to fill in the table that has the initial assumption and its origin, the scientists that debunked the assumption and the supporting evidence that they used to do so, and the implications